Welcome to Module 2 of our Abuse Prevention Plan online training. Thank you for checking out this video. Module 2 will deal exclusively with understanding how it works when minors are volunteering at programs. So with minor serving, it always becomes a bit of a complicated question to understand because we need to recognize that while we want to empower older kids to help and volunteer and gain experience in those ways, we are still equally as responsible for them and their care as we are for the younger kids. So that's what we're going to work through understanding in this module. So to start, we'll look at our philosophy for minors serving as volunteers. The church will make every effort to provide a safe and secure environment for all minors. Again, that includes younger kids in a program as well as older kids helping out to run the program. The church also desires to empower those minors to grow in their abilities and service of Christ. The church values providing opportunities for minors to volunteer alongside workers for programs and events. We want to make sure we can do this and get kids as they're growing and getting older involved in helping out, but we're always also making sure that we are providing just as much care and supervision for them as we are for younger kids in a program. So, no one under the age of 18 shall be placed in a position of trust with younger minors. Position of trust are leadership roles that may place the individual in situations where they are involved in making decisions about the health or welfare of those in their care or providing intimate care of babies, infants, and younger minors. So we want to have students helping out, but they are not the ones in charge of the kids and making decisions for younger kids. So no one under the age of 18 is ever considered as supervising other minors. Rather, the workers are always supervising them. Therefore, we would not allow them to be alone with other minors. Underage workers. An underage worker refers to minors ages 12 to 17 that have completed the Declaration of Interest to Volunteer form and have been accepted to volunteer by the church with programs or events for which they are older than the target age. So that's ages 12 to 17. Must be at least 12 years old and not have turned 18 yet. The underage workers always serve alongside the adult volunteers. Ministry leaders should provide clear expectations for the underage workers regarding the roles they will have serving the program or event. How to become an underage worker. First, you must have been consistently attending a program or event at Trinity for at least 6 months. And then you would complete the underage worker information and declaration package, which includes your parent or guardian also reading the package and signing it. Recognized babysitting course is required if you're serving in the nursery, but vulnerable sector checks are not required. What can an underage worker do? Set a good example, pray, help the kids stay engaged with what is going on, remind kids to listen, helping with crafts or even leading crafts, helping with recreational events and open spaces, reading to kids, helping with setup, helping with cleanup, sharing all of their great ideas, explaining games, crafts, activities. What can an underage worker not do? The underage workers will not take kids to the bathroom. They will not change diapers. Even if they have a driver's license, they would not be able to drive kids around for church events. Underage workers will not contact children online in any way on behalf of the church. Underage workers will not take pictures or videos. Underage workers will not be in a room with kids where there are no adults present. Underage workers will not discipline the kids. They will not make decisions about the health or welfare of a child. They will not be the ones doing the registration or dismissal. So now we need to look at the supervision ratios. This is very important, and we always need to keep this in mind because all programs, events, and classroom settings must comply with these supervision ratio limits for the number of workers to the number of minors at all times, no exceptions. The ratio that we need to think about is always the one that applies to the lowest target age by the program, event, or class, and that one is what must be maintained for the whole time. So that looks at a mixed age group. So for example, at VBC, we have from junior kindergarten to grade 5. So the lowest target age in there is junior kindergarten. So that ratio is the one that applies, which you can see on the chart is 1 to 5 when everyone is together. Now, the number of minors a worker may supervise will increase slightly when there is at least one underage worker that is 4 or more grades older than the oldest target age for the program, event, or class. So again, for VBC, the oldest target age is grade 5. So for this increase in ratio to apply, then there would need to be at least one underage worker in grade 9 or above. In which case, then you can see on the chart that that ratio would then now go up to 1 to 8 instead of 1 to 5. But we need to remember that underage workers are still always included with the program participants when assessing the supervision limits and determining the maximum number of program participants. So looking at the chart there, we can see all the ratios, 1 to 3 for the youngest kids in the nursery under age 2, which would bump to 1 to 5, with an underage worker 4 or more grades older. Age 2 through senior kindergarten, 1 to 5 or 1 to 8. Grades 1 to 5 is a 1 to 10 ratio that bumps to 1 to 12 when there is an underaged worker at least 4 or more grades older. And then for youth, grades 6 to 8, it's 1 to 7, and there's no chance of increasing that. And for grades 9 to 12, it is 1 to 10. All right, so let's look at some examples of how these ratios work. So let's first consider a program with 2 adult workers and 1 underage worker that is in grade 7, where the program targets junior kindergarten through grade 5. So the lowest targeted age there is junior kindergarten, so the base ratio is 1 to 5. And in this case, the underage worker is not 4 grades older, so the 1 to 5 ratio is the one to use. So that means those 2 adults can supervise a total of 10 minors, which includes the grade 7 volunteer. So therefore, the maximum number of program participants is 9. In this example, our underaged worker is in grade 11. So it's still a program targeting junior kindergarten to grade 5. So that base ratio is 1 to 5. But then in this case, our underage worker is at least 4 grades older. So now the ratio increases to 1 to 8. So the 2 adult workers can supervise 16 minors. But that still includes the underage worker in grade 11. So therefore, the maximum number of program participants is 15. Last example, let's look at a larger event. So we've got 5 adult workers and 2 underage workers in grade 10 for a program that targets grades 1 to 5. So with grades 1 to 5, the base ratio is 1 to 10. And in this case, our underaged worker is at least 4 grades older than the oldest target age. So our ratio increases to 1 to 12. And so that means the 5 adults can supervise up to 60 minors total, including the 2 grade 10 students. So therefore, the maximum number of program participants is 58. So that is the end of Module 2. Thank you for watching. If you have any questions, you can always ask. There is a form on the website that you can fill out to send those questions in. And we look forward to seeing you in Module 3.